Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek and News. Today I'm going to be looking at Edo Yashiki, a small game by Hisashi Hayashi and his Okazu brand company. And this game consists of a deck of cards and a number of tokens that you use only in the advanced game. It's 2 to 5 players, plays in 15 minutes. Let's see how it looks. Here are the components of the basic game of Edo Yashiki: deck of cards, a little scoring chart made out of cards, and some cubes to track the score. We'll pretend this is a 3-player game right now, even though I'm going to win because I have no real opponents. Everyone starts with 1 card, and this represents the beginning of your house, the beginning of your establishment here. Edo Yashiki takes place in the Edo period in Japan, and you're a daimyo coming to visit the emperor. You need a place to stay when you come to visit the emperor. He doesn't let you stay at his place, right? You have to build your own house, and you want to look nice in front of all the other daimyo. You want to look like you belong there. So you're going to build up the nicest place you can, and you do that by adding rooms to it, 1 room at a time, just like everyone else. So on a turn, the active player flips up as many cards as the number of players in the game. Everyone looks at those cards, you keep your hand in the lap, and at a certain point, whenever the active player is ready, Hajime! And you slap a card that you want to take. Okay, Hajime means start or begin. When you take the card has to be placed vertically, but you can place it adjacent to anything that you already have as long as all the squares line up. You cannot touch just diagonally. You can cover what you already have if you want. What you're trying to do is make lines, either rows or columns, of material that's the same type. We have ponds, floor, tatami mats, and gardens. Okay, a row of 2 though scores me nothing. All right, well, let's say next turn I get this card. All right, we get a row of 4 tatami mats. Once you get to 3, so you get to 3, you score 1 point. That'd be 1 point if I put it there. If you have a row of 4, that's 2 points. And if you have a row of 5, that's 4 points. And if you have a row of 6, that's worth nothing because you're just showing off at that point. Don't be that guy. If you can score for multiple types on the same turn, for example, if I place this here, made a row 3 of pond, a row 3 of tatami, you get the points for the rows themselves, 1 and 1, and a bonus of 2 for having 2 types at the same time. If you score 3 types at the same time, you get a bonus of 4. 4 types at the same time is 6. 5 types at the same time is impossible because there's only 4 types. Okay. One thing you cannot do is cover something that has already scored. So if you have a row of 3 or 4 on the board, you cannot cover that in the future in order to make something bigger. I cannot cover this to now make a row of 4 and a row of 4 because I'm covering something that's already scored. What you're doing is you're going to be playing until one player gets 25 points, in which case the game ends at the end of that round after everyone has scored. Or if the deck runs out of cards and no one has reached 25 yet, whoever has the most points wins. The basic game of Edo Yashiki is pretty simple. You start with 1 card and you're slapping and grabbing other cards and try to build up and score points. Right? Ideally, you can do something where you score 3, then you score 4, then you score 5, and then that piles the points up. You're rewarded for building on what you've already done. And the game's a little easier that way, and it's perfect for the age 6 minimum listed on the package. Then there's the gamer way to play. Each player gets this card, which has each landscape type marked on it: garden, floor, pond, and tatami. You have these markers here, and you still add cards to the board. Okay, I'm going to build up here. You're still slapping and grabbing cards in the same way that you were before. Okay, I'm going to place this here. And I get 1 point for pond, 1 point for tatami. I get a 2-point bonus because I scored 2 types at the same time. And, most importantly, I have to take away the tatami and pond markers. I can now not score for those again until I score for floor and garden. So if I get this in the future, putting this here to increase the size of my pond does nothing. I have to do something else first. I can't place this here because then I'm covering the pond that already exists. I put this here. I score 1 for the floor. It's not much, but it's something. Oh, Super. Drawing cards off the top of the deck works here. I got one for garden. And now all of these markers come back. If it's possible to score for multiple things at the same time, you can do so. This doesn't really work, but let's say I was in that same situation before where I need to score a garden. I place this card here where I complete my garden and it's a Tommy row. I can choose to score my garden first, move this marker off, all the markers come back, and now I'll score for Tatami. And since I scored for both of them, I get the bonus for scoring 2 types at the same time. And there's an overview of Edo Yashiki. And that's mostly about it. I don't have much more to say. I played 4 times on a copy I bought from Tokyo Game Market. And it's a very quick game, very simple. It's great with different ages because, of course, the basic mechanism of the game is just you're making stuff that matches and you're slapping. All right? Kids love slapping stuff. The rules actually say that you grab them, but no, we're not going to do that. We're going to slap, so at least the cards aren't damaged. You can damage your hand, but you cannot damage my cards. All right. The advanced game with a specialist adds a little bit more because, of course, you're trying to balance things. It gives just a little more thought in terms of what you're trying to do. A little bit where you can guess what other people are going to do based on what they have available to them. If they can only score pawns, you know what they're looking for. And, of course, if you've got a choice of which card to take, you're going to take the card, try to take the card, get that hand in there first, to take the card that they want, so then they're stuck. All right. You can't mess with people too much in terms of taking the things that they want. Or at least maybe I just haven't played it enough. I haven't perfected my slapping action. That's a good pull quote, right?